Hey folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. I am glad that you're there because that means we get to spend some time together. We're going to talk about things that you can do to lower your cholesterol, tips that you can do to lower your cholesterol. Now, the reason I say this is the number one medication our patients come to our office that they're taking is high blood pressure. And we've done shows on high blood pressure, and you could go to our website, drjoe.com, and just type in high blood pressure and listen to the shows we've done. A lot of good tips on naturally hopefully bringing down your blood pressure. Again, there's no guarantees or promises, but we're pretty good at this. So today we're going to give you tips to lower your cholesterol because cholesterol is the number 2 medication that people are on. And I cover this a lot from many, many different angles because I'm trying to get the message out to you that most cases you can lower cholesterol naturally. Studies have shown that 1 in 100 people have genetically high cholesterol. And that person would probably do very well by taking statin drugs. 99 out of 100, chances are you're one of them, would do very well by not stopping their statin drugs, but doing the tips I'm going to give you and then see if the cholesterol gets low enough so you can come off your statin drugs. So that's our goal. Our goal is to give you the tools that you need to implement right now, starting today, to try to lower your cholesterol. And it's not going to happen in a day. Don't say, well, Dr. Joe, I ate some oatmeal and my cholesterol didn't go down, so obviously oatmeal doesn't work. No, it took years for you to irritate your liver and cause the liver to produce so much cholesterol and raise your LDLs and lower your HDLs and irritate the lining of the arteries that causes the VLDLs to stick the LDLs onto the artery walls. And so it's not something that's going to happen overnight, but the tips I'm going to give you are good for overall health, not just cholesterol. So there's no downside to what I'm about to teach you, whether you have high cholesterol or not, because you run the risk of getting high cholesterol. So I'm going to teach you how to be proactive and how to be reactive at the same time. So your doctor says you have high cholesterol. You get a prescription for cholesterol drugs, and you still need to change your diet, and you still need to do other things that we're going to talk about now. So if you're taking cholesterol medication, I strongly advise that you consider taking CoQ10, Coenzyme Q10. It's a supplement, and what happens is your liver produces cholesterol. Your liver also produces something called CoQ10. Well, what will happen is if you're lower the enzyme that produces cholesterol, you're lowering the same enzyme that produces CoQ10. And so now CoQ10 is necessary because CoQ10 goes into the cells. It gets into what's called the mitochondria, and it causes the mitochondria to produce energy. So if you don't have enough CoQ10, because you're not producing it, because you took a drug to lower the enzyme that produces it, the muscles now suffer. The cells suffer. They just don't produce as much energy as they should. And many times they get so weak that people say, well, Dr. Joe, I'm just so tired all the time. I don't know why I'm so tired. And I've done coffee and I'm getting sleep. And okay, let's look at your statin drugs. Okay. You're lowering your enzyme, your levels of CoQ10. Let's start taking CoQ10. And they say, Dr. Joe, I started taking it, and a few days later, I started to feel a little better. So my concern is that it's not just energy. Your heart needs CoQ10 to make the heart muscle beat. Your blood vessels need it. Your colon needs it. Your sex organs need it. So kind of important to make sure you get enough CoQ10. And so if you are on statin drugs, I do recommend you take CoQ10. There's a dosage on the bottle that you buy, and I recommend you just follow that dosage. So there's what we call good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. HDLs are the good cholesterol, high-density lipoproteins. HDLs carry cholesterol back to the liver. So your liver produces cholesterol. It's released into the blood system. LDLs are involved in that. The low-density lipoproteins, what we call the bad cholesterol. And then the body uses cholesterol to make hormones and cell walls. It does a lot of different things, cholesterol. And then whatever excess, the HDLs carry it back to the liver and it gets recycled. So we are a very efficient recycling machine. What can happen is your body produces a lot of cholesterol, and either A, you don't have enough carriers to bring it back to the liver, or B, which is very common now, research came out several years ago on this, the liver is clogged up and it won't recycle. The receptor sites, the recycling bins are clogged up. And so that cholesterol goes to the liver and goes, I got nowhere to go. I'm going to go back into the blood again. And then your levels go up. So we can do one of two approaches. Number one is we can lower our production of cholesterol with statin drugs. And that's effective. Or what if we clean up the liver? Clean out the recycling bins so the body can start recycling again. You can do both. I have many patients on statin drugs, and I never tell a patient to come off drugs. That's not my job. That's your prescribing doctor, your primary care doctor, your cardiologist. That's their job. That's not mine. I don't want to take their job from them. What I want to do is I want to teach you how to get healthy so that hopefully you don't need the medication. And that goes for cholesterol, high blood pressure, diabetes, pain, any medication. If we can get to the cause of it, you won't need that medication as much anymore. Not against medication, please. I'm against unnecessary use of medication. Follow the difference? Good. So you got to know the difference between the good and the bad cholesterol. So a couple of things. They talk about a portion. Now you might say, you have one portion of meat. You have one portion of dairy. How much is a portion? Generally speaking, it's the palm of your hand. Now, it's been almost 36 years since I've had any animal products at all because I know how bad they are, especially for things like cholesterol. But if you're still eating animal products, you're still not convinced, what I want you to consider is a portion is the size of your palm. How many of you have ever eaten a portion of anything? Very few of us, probably. So I want you to consider that if you're going to eat meat or dairy products, A, you shouldn't. B, if you're going to eat them, they need to be organic. And C, a portion is the size of your hand. The palm of your hand, not your whole hand, the palm of your hand. And so now you can start saying, okay, how can I limit my intake of bad foods? I think you should stop eating bad foods. I don't think you need to limit it. I think you should cut it out. But some of you aren't ready for that yet, and I understand that. So what can we do to limit it? So use that as the palm of your hand. And then start thinking about fruits and vegetables. Well, we've got to eat lots of fruits and vegetables, so lots of palms of fruits and vegetables. Think about delicious foods. Delicious foods are usually fruits and vegetables. And many times, if you eat even animal products, you have to season it to make it taste better. Well, vegetables sometimes need seasoning too, but be careful with your seasoning. If you're using saturated seasonings like butter, for example, to braise your meat, oh my gosh, insult to injury. Too much salt, not a good idea. So limit your seasonings and try different seasonings on anything you're eating. Oregano, rosemary, garlic. Try these seasonings. Try to cut back on the salts and the saturated or the animal seasonings out there. Cholesterol could be found in sour cream. Well, if you have a baked potato, maybe try a snack I eat often, as a matter of fact, is I'll have either sweet potatoes or baked potato, yellow potatoes, and I'll bake them. And I'll just grab it as a quick snack. And instead of throwing butter on it, I might put some mustard on it. It sounds strange, but mustard is, high in turmeric, which is anti-inflammatory. It's cheap and it tastes good because sometimes you just need something on the potato. Now I find that sweet potatoes and mustard don't work. Sweet potatoes you can eat by themselves, actually. But quick, easy, simple snack like that is a much better choice. Fiber is going to be the secret ingredient when it comes to lowering cholesterol. Because what happens is your liver makes cholesterol, sends it out into the blood system. It's utilized in cells and hormones and everything. Whatever left comes back. The HDLs bring it back to the liver. The liver has these recycling ports, and it opens up and recycles the cholesterol. And then the body takes cholesterol and makes something called bile. Bile is stored in the gallbladder. And when you eat fats, the bile is squirted out of your gallbladder and breaks down fats. Bile's kind of like dish detergent. If you ever had greasy water and you squirt some dish detergent on it, breaks up the grease instantly. That's what bile does. So imagine bile being dish detergent, but it's recycled cholesterol. And then you break down your fats and it gets passed out of your body. If you're not eating enough fiber, if you're not having bowel function, minimum once a day, preferably 2 or 3 times a day. If your bowels are not moving 2 to 3 times a day, the food can be sitting in your colon for too long, and that cholesterol gets recycled again and gets reabsorbed. So a real simple thing you can do to help lower your cholesterol is eat more fruits and vegetables, A, because they're good for you, and B, it prevents it from going into the recycling and getting back up into the blood again, getting absorbed like you would if you ate it. So you're eating your own cholesterol, you're eating your own bile if you don't pass it out quick enough. And also fiber is going to wrap around the cholesterol and then carry it out of the system. Because like oatmeal, okra, these things have fiber in it, soluble fiber. It's kind of, if you leave oatmeal sitting around, it gets slimy. Okra gets slimy. That's called soluble fiber. And soluble fiber is kind of like the blob or Play-Doh. And when it gets into colon, it wraps around toxic chemicals, heavy metals, excess bile or cholesterol, and carries it out of your system. So this is why you might see commercials that say oatmeal can be heart healthy as part of a cholesterol-lowering diet. It's the soluble fiber. Okra, really loaded with soluble fiber. I like okra. I first came to Georgia. I remember when I first came to Georgia way back when. I was was I 20 yet maybe? And I wanted to eat Southern foods. And I heard about okra, and I heard about red-eye gravy and grits. So I remember there's a little diner on a place called Fairground Street. It's not there anymore. And I had a real cheap breakfast. And at the time, I didn't eat as well as I do now. So I had red-eye gravy and grits and eggs. And I didn't have okra because it was breakfast. And red-eye gravy, if you know what that is, it's basically bacon fat. So I was really disappointed with that. Grits is cornmeal. We called it polenta. I was disappointed with that. So then I went to the grocery store and bought a frozen bag of okra, and I boiled it up and ate it. Well, you know where I did wrong there. I boiled up okra. And, of course, it comes out like a bowl of snot. And I'm thinking, why would anyone eat a bowl of snot? Well, it's actually good for you if you can get it down because of that soluble fibers, that snotty thing. But I roast it now. I just take okra, I put a little salt and pepper, maybe olive oil if you want to, roast it in the oven. Love okra. But I digress. Fiber is going to be the key here. Essential Source and Super Greens are excellent when it comes to a general protocol for health, but many times you need those nutrients to get the liver to detoxify. Break that, clean up the recycling bins. So I recommend, of course, across the board, the number one supplement you should be taking are Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. They're 2 powders, mix them together. They taste great. You can make a smoothie out of it. This morning, I just used some coconut milk, shook it up and drink it. Yesterday morning, I had a half a frozen banana. I threw it in my little magic bullet, ground it up, made a smoothie out of it. Pretty crazy stuff. And it's loaded with fruits and vegetables. It's dried fruits and vegetables along with being a complete multivitamin. Another thing you need to do to lower your cholesterol is you got to boost your omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3s lower your levels of triglycerides. That's a type of fat in your blood. And it can also then cut down on your cholesterol and slow down the growth of plaque or hardening of the arteries. Now, I've gone over this before, but I know we have new listeners every week. So there's three main sources of omega-3 fatty acids. One of them is fish. I don't recommend that version. Many times fish oil goes rancid. It's also in not what's called the phospholipid form, the form that we need to absorb it in. And with fish oil, if it's not clarified and purified, you run the risk of heavy metal toxicity like mercury. So it's not the best choice. Krill, much better choice. It's in a phospholipid form, very low risk of heavy metals, very abundant in the ocean, so you're not going to deplete it like you would fish. But krill don't make omega-3 fatty acids. Krill get omega-3 fatty acids from eating algae. Algae is the purest form of omega-3 fatty acids. I take Dr. Joe's algae omega-3 every day. My cholesterol is spectacular. Doctors take my blood and they go, how old are you? You have a blood work of somebody who's 30 years younger than you. It's because I take care of myself. And I tell the doctors too, my blood work is normal. It's not average. It's normal. Average is what everybody else has. I don't want to be average. I want extreme health. In fact, the second book I wrote, Prescription for Extreme Health. I want extreme health. So I don't want average blood work. I want way better than average blood work. And one of the reasons is my diet, of course, and I take omega-3 fatty acids. Great for inflammation, great for memory, great for brain function, great for so many different things. I take 2 of Dr. Joe's capsules a day, and they're vegan. So there's no reason why you shouldn't be taking omega-3s every day as well. And again, this is advanced stuff. I always say Super Greens is an essential source and vitamin D to start. Digestive enzymes when you eat a cooked meal if you're over 30 years old. I take a B complex for my nervous system. I take omega-3 fatty acids. I take a bunch of different supplements. And we can customize a plan for you too. If you want, we have you fill out some forms and we do a computer analysis and we come up with an algorithm. And we have an algorithm and it says, okay, this is what you would do well with based on your symptoms. So we can do that. We do that for every new patient. So whenever a patient comes in our office, we put together a nutrition protocol. We do an examination, a consultation. We take x-rays if necessary, give them their first adjustment. Then we give them paperwork. On their second visit, they bring the paperwork back and we do a nutrition evaluation and we go over their x-rays and our exam findings, and then we do a treatment plan for them. So very organized, very methodical, and we don't know how long somebody's going to need to see us until we look at the x-rays, do the exam, do an analysis on them. So if you'd like to make an appointment, who's a good patient for us? Neck pain, back pain, headaches, numbness, tingling, any type of pain situation, my doctors are really good at. Digestive problems, heartburn, acid reflux, gas, diarrhea, Crohn's, colitis. My doctors are really good at helping get to the cause of digestive problems. Nutrition concerns. We're all very good at getting nutrition concerns. So if you want to get well, if you're serious about getting to the cause of your healthcare problem, Dr. Joe, drjoe.com. You can book an appointment right online or call us. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. We would love to be your doctors. So you can make an appointment, drjoe.com, right on the website. You can call us. We'll book an appointment. We accept almost every insurance out there. And if you've ever been in a car accident, if the car was damaged, you were damaged. You need to get to see us as quickly as possible. Because the insurance companies, with COVID now, everything's backed up. So they play this little game. And they say, well, Joe, you were in a car accident, but you didn't go to the doctor right away, so we're not going to cover your claim. We're going to deny your claim. How can you deny the fact I was in a car accident? We're just not going to pay you. And they have that right, which is stupid. And they say, well, you didn't go to the doctor. How do we know you didn't get in another accident between this accident or fell down the stairs? And that's what you're trying to blame it on. And so it's all a game. It's just stupid games. You want to not give them any fuel to fight you. So you want to come see us as quickly as possible. And I know sometimes you don't have a car. Sometimes you think you weren't hurt. However long it's been, today's the day you need to come see us. If it's been 10 years, 20 years, today's the day you need to come see us, because every day that goes by, chances are the problem's getting worse and worse. And if you are dizzy, if you have a headache, if you lost consciousness, if you lost memory, if you lost taste and smell, this could be a sign of what's called a traumatic brain injury. And we deal with I'm certified in traumatic brain injuries. We deal with these patients all the time. So if you're serious about wanting to get well, go to our website, drjoe.com, book an appointment right away. Please show up. Yeah, maybe once or twice a week, a patient just doesn't show up. That took an appointment away from somebody else. That's not fair. That's bad karma. So if you do that, you're going to have bad karma, bad mojo. So please make your appointment. Bring your friends, bring your family, bring your children. Yes, children need to get evaluated as well. Let's start getting you well. drjoe.com. You can book it right online or call us. Other things you can do. We talked about fiber. Split peas are great sources of fiber. Lentils, oats. Make sure they're organic oats if you can do them. Oats are great sources of fiber. Okra is a great source of fiber. All vegetables are great sources of fiber. Fruits, great sources of fiber, but if you can't eat just fruit, it's too much sugar. If you're going to do whole grains, wild rice, brown rice, organic popcorn, these work well. Quinoa. So if you make your diet consist of really high nutrient, high fiber foods, A, you're going to save a ton of money. B, you're going to feel great. You're going to probably lose weight. You'll have energy. Your love life will improve. You go to the bathroom better. You sleep better. There is no downside to taking care of your nervous system, your digestive system, and your diet except one. That one exception is that all that junky food tastes good. I remember. I was normal once, surprisingly. I was normal once, and I used to eat bad food. And I regret it. If I can go back in time, you would say, if you could talk to your younger you, what would you tell you? Get chiropractic care as soon as you possibly can. My spine would have been a heck of a lot healthier. I would have eaten the right foods. I would have stayed away from the bad foods. I would have taken quality supplements. It's never too late to have that talk with yourself. It's never too late to make that move. Other things we can do. Avoid bad oils. Now, bad oils would be, of course, animal oils. But I don't want you using things like canola oil, safflower oil, corn oil, soy oil. These are very high in omega-6 fatty acids. And omega-6 fatty acids cause inflammation in the body. And you need to take more omega-3s if you're taking omega-6s. Most people take tons of omega-6s and almost no or zero omega-3s. So take Dr. Joe's omega-3s is what I recommend, and stay away from those bad oils. And try to use as little processed oil as possible. So even things like olive oil or avocado oil or walnut oil, sesame oil, better choices. But they're still processed oils. So try to stay away from it. Use as little as you can. I'm not saying don't use any. Use as little as you can. I have a thing, it's a pump for oil, and you can put it and spray the oil on things. So if I have to use a little bit of oil, I'll pump it up and spray it on. Now, don't buy one with an aerosol. It's a manual pump. and you could pump up the oil and spray it on your food. This way you get a little bit of oil if you want to, but it's a much better choice. Staying in motion is going to be really important for cholesterol, for anything really. So last night I went out to dinner with my friend Tim, and we went to a place called Marietta Square, and we had dinner, and we walked around the square, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 times. And it was great. It was a nice night. Gave us some time to hang out and chat, a little guy time. Walk around, look at people, look at stores and stuff like that. So make excuses to get out of the house. I'm going to go for a walk. Well, instead of going to an inside mall, maybe go to an outside mall. If I'm going to go out to dinner, find a place that you can walk around afterwards. Garden. To get out of the house. I like to garden, so that's one thing I do. But make up excuses to get out of the house. And if your body's staying in motion, that's going to be really important to keep you overall health, but also lower your cholesterol. So you don't have to necessarily go to a gym. You just have to get your body in motion. And that's really important. So be smart when you eat out. Try to avoid meats, dairy products, of course. Better choices might be Asian food. There's a Malaysian food. My favorite dish is something called kari sayur. Kari sayur is just spectacular. And it's got okra and vegetables. It's kind of like a soupy thing, but I really like that. But Malaysian foods, Thai foods. If you eat Thai food, make sure you get it no fish sauce. And this is a problem with Thai food. They use a lot of fish sauce, and fish sauce is monosodium glutamate. And monosodium glutamate is an excitotoxin to the brain. It causes the brain to fire faster than it's supposed to and can literally burn out your brain cells. So if you're going to do Thai food, make sure you do it no fish sauce. And of course, don't eat meat. That's the other thing too. Vegan choices, you're going to be hard-pressed to find a restaurant that doesn't have vegan choices anymore, because almost every place has it. I went to a bar restaurant the other day, and they had a delicious veggie burger. So it wasn't the healthiest choice in the world, but it wasn't processed meat, which was good. It's processed soy, because processed soy is something you want to stay away from. Like there's certain brands out there, textured soy protein, not a good choice. So look for veggie choices, look for salad bars. If you have to, you could always just do side dishes. You could do broccoli and cucumbers and mushrooms and things like that. So those would be better choices if you're going to go out to dinner. And just look for better choices. And the thing you could do is cover up the food, look at the prices. And this is a really cool thing. The cheapest thing on a menu is almost always the best thing on a menu. And that's kind of a fun little game you could play. So try to eat better choice. If you don't know what to eat, go to our website, drjoe.com. And on the website, you could type in, so what can I eat? And we did a whole hour on what to eat. Breakfast, lunches, dinners, snacks, things like that. So there's a lot of good choices out there. You just have to know what to do. And our website, drjoe.com, is a great source of information. You can get so much information off there. We just changed the search engine, so it's going to be easier to find articles and radio shows. If you have a question, send it to us through the website, drjoe.com. I am more than happy to answer your questions. Make sure you leave your email address so we can get back to you. We don't always answer right away. Sometimes people say, well, hello, where's everybody? Hello, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. So Joe and I are the people that answer the questions. Joe, I don't think he sleeps, but I can imagine he does. So bear with us. But the best thing you could do, if you're serious about wanting to get well, is just make an appointment to come see us. We'll check the nervous system. We'll check the digestive system. We'll check your diet. We'll dig deep and try to find out what is the cause of your healthcare problem, and not just cover up the cause, but treat not just cover up the symptoms, but treat the cause. And sometimes it's supplements. Sometimes it's chiropractic care. Sometimes it's cranial manipulation. Sometimes you got to move your stomach. It depends on your specific issue. So if you'd like to become a patient, or if you have a question, the website is real simple, drjoe.com. Follow us on social media at Dr. Joe Esposito.